happened. Everyone give them a huge round of applause. All the volunteers and everyone here, sincerely, thank you so much for coming out. And just like freedom and this flamethrower, it's not the safest of things, but it's the funnest of things. Welcome to New Hampshire. Safe to say I'm having a lot of fun here at PorkFest, and what's the saying? Freedom, liberty, and personal flamethrower responsibility, right? Welcome back, beautiful and amazing human beings. This is Okradowski of WeAreChange.org. A lot of very important news to talk about today, and whether it's foreign policy or the ever-crumbling establishment narrative that is breaking almost every single day, especially with the larger hypocrisies of government, we're going to be talking about that, plus a lot more, especially with the latest information of yet another Dr. Fauci lie, this time to Congress, which is an arrestable offense. We're going to be talking about that, plus a lot more. But jumping right into it, covering, of course, one of the biggest international stories of more saber rattling between the West and the East, this time of Russia warning of a, quote, real conflict between the United States and NATO over the latest events that have been unfolding in the Black Sea, where recently Russian fighter jets were firing shots and dropping bombs near a UK naval vessel that encroached on Russian territory. NATO is responding by doing more military exercises in that specific region. Russia is responding with their own military drills and war games, and the saber is going to continue to rattle with more tit-for-tat escalations between Russia and the United States with its allies. In other news today, we also found out that the U.S. State Department was working with someone that did unspeakable things to children, who then was used as a spy and provided false testimony against WikiLeaks publisher Julian Assange, and the U.S. State Department literally cut a deal with a man that did unspeakable things with children in exchange for made-up dirt against WikiLeaks, which granted him immunity from prosecution. This is, again, the key witness in the case against Julian Assange to just admitting to lying. It's also important to note here that this is not the first time that the U.S. government has been working with people that have done unspeakable things to children with, as there's going to be multiple documentaries about Ghislaine Maxwell and, of course, Mr. Epstein that highlight the cooperative efforts that they had for over 3 decades with the highest elements of the U.S. federal government, highlighting once again how the legal justice system is not always legal and sometimes carries out the opposite of justice. A point that the mainstream media misses many times, but alternative media is here to cover those very important developments, and we can only cover it with your support. And one very easy way to support us is by checking out safepreparedandready.com. This is an affiliate company that we have been working with for a very long time, for a number of years now. I'm happy with their products. I personally have a lot of them. I think you will too. And if you're looking for emergency food supply that will last you for over 25 years, actually has a good taste to it, check out safepreparedandready.com, since this has allowed me to have a peace of mind that I was awarded just by simply having this product readily available. Again, lots of good stuff here. Again, check out safepreparedandready.com. The link is down in the description below. Now, just continuing on with our main story here, I wanted to remind the YouTube moderators that I am not a medical professional. I am not giving out medical advice. I am just simply calling out a lot of the bull crap that has been absolutely freaking wrong from the beginning of this bull crap that deserves the highest level of scrutiny. This right now, the videos that you're seeing in front of your screen right now are from Texas, showing, of course, massive amounts of people congregating together. Texas, the same state with the lowest number of hospitalizations in 14 months, and they're one of the states with the least amount of restrictions, fully letting them go 15 weeks ago, and the cases, hospitalizations, deaths, numbers, all of that are beyond explanation for Dr. Fauci, who is, quote, not sure why there hasn't been an uptick in cases which he predicted would have happened. And in Texas, where Major League Baseball stadiums are packed to the rims, NC State Baseball is taking another approach by ending all of its games because of safety and health protocols that are absolutely almost impossible to follow. Why have such stringent rules and regulations when states like Florida and Texas clearly highlight how things don't actually add up? Well, that's an important question that many people have been asking themselves, and let's be honest here, the establishment really doesn't have a good answer for it at all. And that's one reason out of many why there have been massive protests, not just in the Western world, and not just in places that are locked down, but also places like Russia, where we have seen protesters being arrested for being on the streets, demanding an end to lockdowns and an end to forced medical procedures, which the general public says that they will not be going along with. The United Kingdom also saw a string of violence as 3 officers were injured during their own massive, huge gatherings that took place in London that led to 14 people being arrested. This demonstration, which was deemed Freedom Day, that happened right outside of Parliament Square in London, was absolutely massive, with signs like this that read, quote, "Your obedience is prolonging this nightmare." This as cases in the United Kingdom have been going down, but yet the government is continuing to lock down its citizenry, preventing them from enjoying basic aspects of human life. Other signs read, "Resist, defy, do not comply, let the UK live." And very surprisingly, these large demonstrations are not getting much press coverage, especially here in the Western mainstream media in the United States. And we're not talking about a few hundred people, we're talking about tens of thousands of protesters, with one of the biggest demonstrations since this entire saga began last year. Protesters even decided to throw tennis balls with nasty messages inside of Parliament. Another sign read, "It's all for nothing if you don't have freedom." And a lot of these people's frustrations are very understandable, especially with the gross hypocrisy of the UK government that is going back on their word and continuing lockdowns, even though cases and hospitalizations are going dramatically down. Another important event that unfolded in the United Kingdom is their own health secretary that was caught violating safety protocols, social distancing rules, and basic health regulations by cheating on his wife, by being caught on camera making out with an aide. Yes, the UK health secretary, Matt Hancock, who was responsible for pushing all of these draconian, insane, illogical, unscientific lockdowns, who told people that they couldn't hug their family members, couldn't see their family members off when they were in hospitals about to leave this world. This hypocritical SOB that has been telling people how to live their lives, denying them of basic human interactions, driving unknown number of people into poverty, destroying their mental health, is running around town, literally shoving his tongue down random mistresses' mouth holes, and then with that same dirty, disgusting mouth, demanding that you follow his decrees or else you will face the full brunt of the monopoly of violence that the state provides. Now, it is important to note that this health minister did resign. Boris Johnson, the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, still somehow said that he is, quote, immensely proud of his service. And when you look at the service that this man provided, the people he serviced was not just his aides, but also the billionaires that were able to become more rich because of the stringent lockdowns that he put in place that made so many human beings suffer for being under the thumb of his brutish, illogical, and unscientific government. Now, where have we seen this kind of level of hypocrisy? Who else could I compare to the health secretary of the United Kingdom? Who else is there that keeps violating his own rules, that keeps flip-flopping and making up policies, changing them back, giving horrible, wrong advice, and also was caught many times lying to the American public? Oh yeah, Dr. Anthony Fauci, whose emails proved that he lied to the general public, and now the White House chief medical advisor is under hot water from accounts from a new book by Washington Post journalists that are claiming that Dr. Fauci lied, gave a bold-faced lie to Congress, which is an arrestable offense, by the way, when he said that he, quote, didn't know why Trump wanted to cancel American tax dollars going to the Level 3 Wuhan laboratory where Dr. Fauci was knowingly financing very dangerous, illogical, unscientific gain-of-function research, which, according to many medical professionals, has no actual basis in providing any scientific breakthrough, only creating sicknesses that would never naturally occur for unknown reasons. Some people speculate bioweapon reasons, and that could be probable with the U.S. Pentagon and Google also financing the development of a lot of these very dangerous strains of sicknesses that, according to many medical professionals, would never naturally happen if it wasn't for a bio-laboratory that made them happen. But as these Washington Post journalists claims, Dr. Fauci was lying about all of this from the very beginning, as he initially tried to push back on Donald Trump and to make sure that this gain-of-function research was going to happen, while at the same time he was concerned that this sickness came from this same laboratory. Later, Dr. Fauci said he never knew why Donald Trump at that time wanted to stop this dangerous funding. And as we all know, that was an absolute lie, especially from all the other accounts and witnesses that, according to this new book, highlight Dr. Fauci as a pathological liar. This might explain why Dr. Fauci has been constantly flip-flopping on a lot of the policies and initiatives that he sets for the United States. Again, there's a lot of questions surrounding this laboratory. I talk about them specifically on LukeUncensored.com. Dr. Fauci has since been talking about a medical procedure now that he recommends everyone to take. A medical procedure where people are actually getting the sickness after getting the procedure to allegedly not get the sickness, as we learned, after a British journalist got the procedure and then he got the sickness afterwards. This, of course, is not an isolated incident, as The Guardian even reported that most people who now die of this sickness have had the procedure against the sickness, and in Israel, they're reporting that half of new infections are from people that have gotten this medical procedure. Now, the medical establishment is arguing that if you get this procedure, this sickness won't be as severe for you. Again, a lot of the data is still unknown since this hasn't been officially approved. There has been an emergency authorization, which some have questioned, and I think those questions are legitimate. We can't get into it here, but we're going to be talking about it specifically on LukeUncensored.com. All of those videos on there specifically deal in this specific realm, but here on this platform, again, I have to reiterate, I am not a medical professional. Do not take any medical advice from any kind of YouTubers. Do your own homework, do your own research, find the medical studies, share them with your friends, family members, and also other medical professionals that you know to get their perspective, to get their feedback. Vigilance and critical thinking is absolutely imperative right now, and if we just willy-nilly believe anyone right down the street, you're just hankering to make a lot of mistakes. The best way not to make mistakes is to critically think, which of course we advocate primarily here on this independent media organization, which wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for you, amazing human beings, watching and sharing these videos with your loved ones. I love you guys. Stay tuned for more here on WeAreChange.org.